Hello everyone! In this lesson we will be discussing the abstract section for your capstone project. The main piece that we are looking at here is outcome number 4, and so to demonstrate your outcome number 4 you will be using discipline-specific terminology, definitions, and conventions to demonstrate effective verbal and written communication across a range of audiences. The objective of your abstract section is really to summarize your project, so you will be briefly covering all of the sections in your project. What is known, what is unknown, what are the methods used, the results, the relevance of your project. And we can remember the analogy of the fruit plate and how each section represents a different fruit. And you really want all of this to be quite engaging. You want to use non-technical language and really encourage the reader to want to go further in reading your written document or learning more about your project specifically. And this is really the most important part of your project after the title as far as that goes, as far as engaging your audience, because this is what gets them to read further, and sometimes it's the only part of the project that gets read. The format for this section is, again, you want to use minimal terminology. You want to use that language that is accessible to a wide audience. You want to be very succinct. There's oftentimes a word count for this in publications, scholarly articles. So this really is a time to be very clear and organized in how you're presenting the information, and make sure to be using your APA formatting. And one way you can think of this is looking at your project overall and writing 1 to 2 sentences per section to encompass what that section is really all about, the main idea behind that section. So this is why, even though it is the part that your project that comes at the very beginning, this is completed at the very end when you have all of your findings, you have all of your interpretations, and you can really succinctly summarize what exactly you found and why that all matters. An example of this in a standard scholarly research article is shown here. So you can see this is the entirety of the abstract itself. And if you look through, you can see really how the first couple sentences are setting the stage through for what is known and why what is unknown needs to be addressed. And then next, there's a brief overview of what was done in the study. And this is followed up by specific findings. And then finally, the relevance of all of this and the recommendations for moving forward. Here are some references for this lesson, and please reach out to your instructor with any questions.